Welcome back here to Omaha, Nebraska. We're here for our Oma Dogs preview special, previewing Mississippi State and Auburn. First pitch coming up shortly. Tom Ebel, joined by my good friend, back at it again, Brett Hudson of Matt Wyatt Media. Brett, welcome to Omaha. Great to have you here.
It's a rite of passage, man. It's about time we did this again.
That's right, we were here last year. It's only right that we're here again talking about Mississippi State and Omaha. We've been playing this game with the Bulldogs for the past couple days, the waiting game, just trying to get a game in. The Bulldogs have been here, I think, since Wednesday or Thursday of last week, and so how much do you think the jitters of the anxiety of waiting actually plays into anything?
I don't think it does with this team because the entire roster was here last year for the most part. They've been here and they've done that. They actually, it seems like it's been less regimented for them this year than it was last year, because last year, if they had a day like this, they would have done a teen zoo visit or a teen children's hospital visit. Those are two of the things they did. Coach Lemonis gave Saturday more or less free to them. They could go be with their families. Limo said he would open the wallet for his family at the merchandise tent area, so that was funny. But they were given pretty much freedom to go be with their families and do more or less whatever they wanted. So that I imagine that helped some too, getting a little bit of detox or just a chill time before they take the field Sunday night.
The good one was Chris Lemonis said Saturday was your day, Sunday is my day. So Sunday, it's today. It's game day. Mississippi State taking on Auburn. Obviously, these two teams met up in March. Mississippi State winning that series 2-3. Two different teams than we even saw back in March. What are the first impressions with Auburn? Can you really judge what they did back in March to what they're doing right now?
No, because they're a completely different lineup. I mean, you look at the bats they have in this lineup, almost all of them are hitting better in this 6-game, I think, NCAA tournament sample than they were in the regular season. I mean, Rankin Woley, the first baseman, he's going from like a 270 in the regular season to something in the high 300s or the low 400s. Ryan Bliss is hitting over 400 in the NCAA tournament. This lineup is just completely different from what it was in that weekend series in Starkville, which is pretty entertaining considering the 20-15 game it was on Sunday. You wonder if we're in for a 30-27 slugfest in Omaha. That'd be fun. But it's a completely different lineup. The pitching staff is interesting. They've had a really rough go of it pitching wise on the Plains, just constant changes to their starting rotation. They've never really been able to get comfortable there, but the lineup is a very different task from what Ethan Small and this bullpen faced last time.
We can only hope it's not a 30-20 game. We'll be here till 5 in the morning, Brett.
Well, we'd be here until 5 in the morning anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right. Never mind. Anyway, speaking of Auburn, you mentioned a little bit of the pitching staff. Jack Owen on the mound for Auburn. He did not pitch against Mississippi State in March. What's the rundown on Jack? What can Mississippi State expect to see today?
He's kind of a microcosm of Auburn's season in that he was a good pitcher that got hurt and had to miss some time. That's why he was not available for Auburn and Starkville. I think he threw a complete game, like maybe a complete game shutout earlier in the season, then got hurt, wasn't available. His NCAA tournament has not been very impressive. It's an ERA in the 6 and a WHIP in the 1.8 range. So he's really struggled in the NCAA tournament. So there is a good Jack Owen out there. Auburn and frankly anyone hasn't seen it for weeks now. So if that good Jack Owen comes, there is potential there to dominate an SEC lineup. He had a really good start against Tennessee earlier in the year, but Auburn just hasn't seen, and frankly no one has seen the good Jack Owen in quite a long time. So there's some reason to be optimistic for Mississippi State there.
And Jack Owen's counterpart on the mound will be Ethan Small. There's really not much else to say about Ethan except you really know what you're going to get. But the thing is, the last time we saw Ethan in Omaha was that Oregon State game where he got roughed up a little bit, and that was the last time Small gave up more than 3 runs in a baseball game was his last appearance in Omaha. Coach Lemonis said yesterday that you could pitch Ethan on Mars and it wouldn't matter where, but I mean, do we really expect anything different with Ethan today, especially against the lineup he's seen before?
You could probably pitch Ethan on any planet, but the question is whether you can pitch Ethan in the Nickel Blacks. We'll have to find that out come game time if it's the Maroon 85s or the Nickel Blacks. But no, I mean Ethan is 6 strikeouts away from tying and 7 strikeouts away from breaking the single season record for strikeouts in Mississippi State baseball history. That's obviously pretty impressive. 168 strikeouts on the year, and he limits walks. All of the numbers on Ethan are really impressive. So I'm assuming we're going to get the same Ethan Small that we've gotten all season long, and that's a good start for Mississippi State, especially when you can pair his super over-the-top left-handed delivery with Jared Liebelt coming from a sidearm, three-quarter kind of slot on the right side. It's a really tough adjustment for batters to make in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, considering you get 6 innings minimum of Ethan Small almost every weekend. So that kind of deal, it's tough for Auburn. So if Mississippi State can take advantage of a recently slumping Jack Owen, build a 3-4 run lead in the first 3 innings, I don't see it ending well for Auburn. I think Mississippi State's going to be 1-0, and that's a pretty important jump. I think I saw a stat on ESPN where 34 of the last 38 national champions won their first game here in Omaha. It'd be a pretty good.
Yeah, I think that first game is really underrated in the fact that we talked about this the other day with Mississippi State. If you win today, you're automatically to Thursday, no matter what happens. So it's you got to get off on a good foot. We saw it on Saturday with the underdogs winning, with Florida State and Michigan getting Game 1 wins. And so Mississippi State, they're a team of destiny in their own right, being that they were here last year. They had that insane ride, but they lost last year. Now they're almost the team to beat, facing a team of destiny in Auburn that's really came out of nowhere. Upset number 3 Georgia Tech national seed in their own regional, beat North Carolina on their Super. This Auburn team resembles that Mississippi State team from last year.
Yeah, if you're one to believe in the juju, Roland, you're not thrilled about Auburn coming into this as the underdog and the team with just everything going for it. They've definitely had the magic on their side so far. I mean, it seems like whenever they need a big inning offensively, they've gotten it. I think they tacked on 3 or 4 in one of those wins in the North Carolina Chapel Hill Super Regional, and then of course that like 1,400 run inning in the first.
More or less.
Yeah, I think that first inning lasted about 3 days. It's amazing they're going to get this game started on time, just because Auburn's still playing that Monday game at Chapel Hill.
We're all much older after that first.
I was much more full of life before that first inning in Chapel Hill started. That much is for sure.
We'd only be so lucky to get a repeat, huh, Brett?
Of 20 to 15?
Oh my goodness! Imagine that. Unspeakable things, as you would say, my friend.
I would say unspeakable things, and will repeatedly if we get 20 to 15
in Omaha.
But of course it's the 6:30 game, right? So a 20 to 15 game would take us well into the evening. We couldn't have that game at 1 and force Louisville and Vandy to just sit there and watch unspeakable things unfold. That'd be pretty fun, especially for Dan McDonald, Chris Lamonis' boy. That'd be
very good friends. And so that's why if we think about last year's Omaha run, that Washington game ended in what, 2 hours and 15 minutes? 1-0, Ethan Small with an absolute gem. Maybe for our sake, we're hoping for that. Hoping for that 2 hour and 15 minute because, deadlines and things like that.
Sleep also.
Sleep as well. Sleep is important. Yeah. But speaking of Ethan Small and Mississippi State, if you were to pick someone, you said 3 or 4 runs for State, and you're looking pretty good with Small on the mound, but who's maybe someone, maybe like a prediction-wise, who do you think is going to have a big Omaha for the Bulldogs?
Ooh, let's go. It's kind of obvious, but let's go with Jake Mangum because it's more about the ballpark. This is a doubles ballpark. It's a very spacious outfield. The alleys and the gaps are huge, and that's what Jake Mangum has reinvented himself into in his time here at Mississippi State at the end. He used to be just a slapper, single in the 6-hole kind of guy, but at some point in his junior year, he narrowed up his stance and he focused on putting backspin on the ball. So when he drives it into a gap, it doesn't just roll through, get picked up by an outfielder and get back in for a single. It gets somewhere quick. It rolls all the way to the wall, and he turns that into a double. Those doubles at Dudy Noble might be triples at TD Ameritrade just because of how huge the outfield is here. So I think his game really sets up well for this. But honestly, this is a doubles lineup. Justin Foster is a doubles guy and a homer guy at Dudy Noble Field with like 14 or 15 on the year. Jordan Westberg is a doubles guy. Rowdy Jordan is a doubles guy when he has his swing.
You could really go up and down the lineup. Yeah. I mean, Tanner Allen. I mean, you could just. I mean, they
led
the SEC in doubles. I believe they led the country in doubles.
I'm pretty sure they set the school record for doubles in a season, or if they haven't, they will pretty shortly here in Omaha.
Exactly.
So they set up pretty well for TD Ameritrade, and Jake Mangum obviously leads that list.
I was going to say, I'm going to go staying in the flames with Tanner Allen. I think Tanner Allen will be the guy that Mississippi State's going to rely on to bring in guys like Mangum and Westberg in the top of the lineup.
Chipper Jones Jr.
Chipper Jones Jr. He just can't take the shades off, even if it's dark outside. Just
He's
leave
the only
shades
person
on.
in America that's allowed to wear sunglasses inside.
And at night. and in the dark,
Yes.
even in the lights. You can't have the lights mess up the Chipper Jones vibe.
When this game is still going at 11 p.m. local time, Tanner Allen has to wear sunglasses. No way around it.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You have to do it, Tanner. I'm sorry. I know it might be
It's
distracting.
a lot of pressure, but you got to
It
do what
is.
you got to do, man.
So to wrap this up, Brett, you maybe hinted to it a little bit earlier, but what are you thinking, Game 1?
I'm thinking State wins. I think they put a few up on Jack Owen early. Ethan Small settles in. They probably bring Lee Belt out of the pen unless they have a different matchup in mind, and they win a game, maybe something in the 7-1, 6-1 range.
I was thinking 5-1, 6-1.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be a
Great
good
minds
start.
think alike.
Great minds do think alike. Brett Hudson and Matt Wyatt Media. Make sure you go check out his podcast, Dog Pile. A lot of great stuff. A lot more in depth. A little more meat on the bones of that one than a little here with some stats and good stuff.
Many more memes, that's for sure.
Many more memes. We love memes. Everything is great. Brett, thanks again, buddy. We'll do this again sometime soon. We may be
Absolutely.
here for a while, so we'll get comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we got the rental house, right?
It is beautiful, isn't it? Very nice. Very nice. We'll be back after the break.